Hello and welcome to another Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. Hey Ben, how are you?
Hello, not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. It's been a bit since we got to sit down and do this. Last week you had something going on. What was it? I don't
Oh,
know.
we did the big Star Citizen live stream. Yes,
Well,
spaceship show and sail, and so on.
spaceship show and sail. I bet you it would have been a little bit better had Top Gear still been on.
Well, we just happened into premiering the same week as their new show, the
The one on
Top
Amazon Prime.
Grand Tour on Amazon. Yes, so we were able to do
Galactic
switch
Tour.
him over. Yeah, Galactic Tour.
Yeah. Now, did our friend that is modeled after Jeremy Clarkson punch his producer also?
No, he did not.
Okay. So I want to ask you a question about, because I'm a little confused and maybe you know a little bit more about this since you're director of ships. These variants that are being released, first off, I think a lot of them are great. And I think it gives an opportunity for people that didn't buy the ships early on to buy the ships now under LTI. So, folks, I'm on your side with this. But do you think that this opens up a can of worms or the hope chest, whatever you want to say?
A whole chest of worms. That's the expression.
Oh my God, it's just bad. So you can have the ugliest ships in the world now in the game.
No, I mean I think we need to have we need players to be able to color their ships and put their logos on them and all that. It was inevitable. We just needed to get the tech right.
But somebody said pink, like my Hello Kitty pink.
So the art team actually already mocked up a Hello Kitty dragonfly that we were passing around during that promo.
Okay.
And then we were like, oh, we can never show that. It's got Hello Kitty on it. Sanrio will kill us. So they actually created their own character that they put on pitch. They make ships pink and put this character on them, and I'm sure that will get out at some point.
Sayonara Snake? I don't know. So
I don't want to spoil it. It's
okay.
Good.
And you didn't show off the Benny skin on any of the fighters.
Actually, Nathan, who did the three Aegis variants, he did like 8 or 9 different options for each one, and it was so hard to pick just one. There was one that was, I think, orange it was like this orange and gray digital camo that looked like it was supposed to be like camo for ships operating near a gas giant, and there was some cool stuff.
So are any of these variants that are going to be coming at us, I'm sure occasionally through the updates, are any of them going to be undoable in the game, or are any going to change like the actual hard points, or is it just what you could put on the hard points and the coloring of the ships?
So nothing is changing the number of hard points. I know that was one confusion because the Gladius, I think, has more missiles. It's just these missiles that are 3 per pod instead of 1.
Okay.
One of them, I believe, does change some of the sizing, but I can't think what it is offhand.
So
but for the most part, they are.
So that would mean that that's a different variant than one that you have, and you couldn't make the one that you already own into that one.
Right. I can't. I wish I could remember offhand which one that is.
It's Saber, Gladius, Avenger, Hornet, right?
I feel like it's Saber, but
Saber.
don't quote me on that.
Okay. Don't quote Ben. We'll put
Yes.
when we figure it out, we'll put it down in the comments section. Well, I thought that I'm quite impressed with Star Marine. I'm not the best FPS person in the world. I don't have those fast twitch muscles like everybody else does and the hot hand-to-eye coordination it takes, but very
I get
impressed.
lost in levels. Any FPS level, I managed to get myself lost in.
Yeah. Oh, so you've been playing it, so you're saying you get lost in the levels that you have.
Oh no, in all FPS games.
Okay. And all
I start off with like Wolf 3D and Doom, where they were intentionally supposed to be maze-like, but somehow I get lost in Call of Duty now. I am just terrible at finding my way.
That makes sense. Because I've been terrible. Well, I used to be good at Doom, and then I was okay at Unreal, but I was all right in the single player campaigns in Call of Duty, or I should say Modern Warfare, those two when they were out, but playing against the kids today, I just can't. I can't keep up with them. I used to love Rainbow Six, which is why I'm hoping that this is going to be good, because Rainbow Six was you get shot, you die, and I thought that was a good element of it. Prowler. I'm going to bite my tongue and just say Prowler.
What about it?
I don't know. I am a proponent of every ship you've ever put out, except maybe the Redeemer, and I know that eventually that will get a second pass and I'll love it. I don't know. It's like if it was going to be a kind of pseudo modeled after the Osprey, I would have expected a big chain gun under the chin, but that chin just looks like a big toucan beak, you know.
I like toucans. No, that's fair. I mean, not every ship is for everybody.
Well, I mean, by the time you guys are done, usually I change my mind. I know that Vanguard's getting kind of a light pass at some point, and I'll probably go back and unmelt mine. So I know that you keep us up. I know things...
The image I have in my mind for the Prowler is going to be not the chain gun on the front, but the doors on the sides open with like heavy troopers with guns shooting out through the air.
Everybody's seen Live, Die, Repeat or whatever, or The Edge of Tomorrow. It's kind of like a cross between that dropship and an Osprey. So, I mean, I don't dislike the Ospreys. You know, I don't dislike the sci-fi ship from there. It's just that merging. I got to see it in engine. I'm sure when I see it in engine, my jaw's going to drop, my tongue's going to hit the floor, and my wallet's going to be thrown at the screen. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is a controversial statement, but I think there should be ships that people don't like. I mean, I don't like every car I see outside, but it makes it for a more exciting world.
Not even like the 1950s Corvair? No, sorry.
No, there's some cars I like. I don't hate every car.
Okay. Let's ask one of our subscriber questions. Well, my subscriber questions. Can you explain how crewing, piloting the same ship with friends will work with different time zone real life example? One ship, the pilot needs to log off. How can the other person log into the same ship to keep it operating? How does that make... I mean, I know what he's saying. You understand what he's saying?
I think he's wanting a feature we don't have, which is the ability to switch bodies between characters. Yeah, no, it wouldn't necessarily work like that. It would be...
maybe what he's saying is that you're in a multi-crew ship. Say you're on a Starfarer and you're getting from one. You know, my thought process is that from what Chris said, it's going to take you a while to get from one star system to 6 or 7 away, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe he's taking the Starfarer. He has to log out, and his friend or his squad mate is sleeping in a bed. Mm-hmm. He goes, puts himself in his bed. His squad mate wakes up in a bed that's on the ship. Can he take over the ship at that point? Is that?
Yeah, ish. Maybe it's going to come down to a balance thing, because you can kind of see all the exploits right now. People popping in and out of NPCs immediately.
Yeah.
We have this idea of you log off and your character gets replaced by an NPC, and it tries to fly your ship to the last place you were. I don't know that we would. We might, but I don't know that we would necessarily want people popping into any ship anywhere.
I guess that makes a lot of sense to me. It does.
I think there's ways around it, but I think it's one of those things that if it becomes a problem, we have to solve it rather than thinking about it right now.
I could see the exploits, but they seem a little bit more difficult to take advantage of, right? Because you'd have to be in the right place at the right time.
Oh, you mean you literally have your character? Yeah, but again, why would you have thought that far ahead in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it just is what it is. They're just trading places and trying to do a cargo run that might be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 jumps away, right? That's going to take some time. Have you ever played Eve? I mean, sometimes it would take you an hour to get from one place to another, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that at that point you just need to figure out what happens if somebody logs off, not can somebody come in. So
Right.
It's the second part of the problem. It's more difficult.
I guess maybe next week we'll be doing a follow-up on this when people start to put their own comments down below.
I'd be interested to know what people are expecting necessarily.
Yeah, because I could see, if you have a ship the size of an Idris, there's going to be quite a few crew members that might be, people that would be already on the ship. Like maybe they put their character on there and they go to sleep, and the captains change out, the crew
But
changes
that I
out.
could see. But again, that,
Yeah,
that would be you'd need to have that. Oh, I left my character there, and that makes sense as the game works right now. If you're
yeah,
coming back wherever you left your character, it doesn't.
right. And then, of course, people can say, what if I have multiple characters and I just put one in each place? And then we got other questions that we can handle when that is actually in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that was from Cosmic Trader. Thank you very much for all your support. And whenever you send me questions, I promise I'll be putting them here. Folks, I'll put a Discord link down below. We have a Discord now for Bensday, and we're taking questions there. So these are the two that appeared in the past couple of days. Next one's from Frymaster. He wants to know, is Spectrum, whatever the replacement for the boards and chat rooms and everything that we're going to have at some point, tied to the 2.6 release, or are they able to be separated? In other words, is Spectrum waiting until 2.6 release? And I'm going to say, or later. Is it going to be before, during, after?
They are not 100% tied together. Folks may be testing one or the other right now. Can't say more than that. But if we're ready to go wider for Spectrum, we'll do it before 2.6. If we're ready to go wider for 2.6, we'll do it before Spectrum. They're kind of both in their testing phase right now.
Okay. All right, and now we got John Nightlord Exodus, I guess. Is Xedis. Is that Zetus or Exodus?
Zetus?
Zetus sounds better. It could be Zedis, or it could be Zedis. So he has a couple of questions. He wants to know, I just recently bought the Cutlass Blue during the anniversary sale. Can you tell me if I will be able to remove the cells from the ship and utilize the space in other ways? I would have answered this question because it was answered before, but now with the rework, I don't know how that's going to work.
I will agree with that. I will say wait for the rework. My guess is they will be replaceable, but I want to leave that to the designer building the reworked Cutlasses. So
That's Josh Coons?
He's doing the base, and then we're going to follow with the two variants. I don't know if it'll be him or if it'll be headed off to someone else.
Yeah, very impressed so far. Very impressed. I think that
it's going
to bring new love back into the Cutlass. Will fighters or other smaller ships be able to be outfitted to refuel other fighters in a similar fashion as the F-18 or the Marine Osprey do today? You know how they carry extra tanks to
Yeah. It's a possibility. We kind of have this larger refueling idea, stuff like the Starfarer and so on, but no reason why there couldn't be a smaller fuel ship or a add-on for a drop tank or something.
Well, let's not forget about all the Xi'an gas stations that are going to be everywhere, according to the lore. Yeah. You just pull up to one in the middle of space. Check the fluids, please. Will ship docking colors carry the necessary equipment to refuel a docked spaceship?
What are they thinking of docking colors in that context? Oh, okay.
Those are just a way to clamp the two together, right?
Yeah, not connected to fueling.
They're not. So you still have to do something by going externally out of the ship and move hoses and stuff, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be an apparatus. It'll probably be fairly automated.
I dock my ships in Kerbal Space Program, and I could just move fuel from one to the other. I mean, we can see how that works. Any chance we may see fixed weapon mount with a larger mount size for the Hornet's ball turret as an option to replace the gimbaled turret for joystick? In other words, joystick users don't want the gimbaled turret. They want something that's fixed. Can we have bigger mounts on there? That's already the case, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah, you can go one size up when it's fixed.
Yeah, I think. I'm going to let you answer that question because
I don't have another answer beyond that.
Yeah, I think you add the ball turret in there, and you just don't put the gimbals on the mount, and you could mount fixed guns on there. I think.
That was how it was supposed to work at one point. I'd have to try it out now and see.
Yeah.
But I will dodge that question until I have an answer.
All right. And the Argo and the Dragonfly are not for sale right now. Is that because they're considered special sales?
So unless we specifically say this ship is going to be available unlimited, we keep it just for the sales. Especially the Dragonfly, since it's not flyable yet. I don't think we want to have, with some exceptions, we really don't want to have concept ships readily available for sale. Everybody in the universe will say, "Oh, here's the cheapest ship. I'm going to buy that." That's not how you start the game. I can see the CS rising right off that one right now. The Argo, no reason to limit it. I mean, you can certainly bring it back to the store. Again, it's one where people get a little bit confused because it's a low price ship that is a lot of fun to play around with, but it's not really a way to jump into Star Citizen. I can see it either way. So if you're out there and you really, really want the Argo to be available all the time, make your argument, and we could definitely do that.
I just think it should, because it offers one of those unique, very fun and different that you didn't expect to happen, the Argo races.
Yes, that's a good point.
And I think that's fun, even though, it doesn't have a jump drive, it doesn't have a quantum drive. It really is a utility ship, but there is some fun to have with that ship. And I know that people were using it for LTI fodder when it first came out, but I think that that's a ship that could be released to everybody. Orgs have, especially Test Squadron, they got to crash something, right? All right, so this is from Gregory Patak. He wants to know, at Gamescom, Chris Roberts said the Stanton System will be fleshed out fully in 3.0 with all planets, space stations, moons, etc. However, during the slides at CitizenCon 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, we saw additional solar system locations. What kinds of things are they looking to add to the Stanton System during this time? Are there things that are going to be added for gameplay purposes that don't fit in with the lore? Like they're adding Levisky that belongs in another system.
Short answer, yes, that is exactly it. We're prototyping lots of stuff in Stanton that won't be there permanently. I can't really speak to specifically what they're doing in 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 because that is not my call to make. But I know they are doing things exactly like you said, like they're prototyping Levski in the Stanton system. Just because we have those assets, we're ready to test how they work, and we don't have another Star System to jump to yet. Even stuff like Grimhex, not necessarily going to stay there. Maybe it will now because it's kind of become such a feature. But we kind of put that there thinking, hey, it doesn't necessarily make sense that there are all these pirates in the Stanton system in our ongoing lore, but we need that base for players while we were operating under this one-star system. So we expect to see stuff in the Stanton system that will then eventually travel across the universe in different ways.
That sounds good. I like that. All right, question that I get from quite a number of people, so we're going to let Greg ask this question, and it is, will we ever be able to purchase ships using Alpha UEC, Beta UEC, even if it gets reset, or will we have to wait until we could only buy it with UEC on the release of the game?
No, we will have ships purchasable with Alpha UEC in the not too distant future. It's one of the reasons why we're busy with this big exactly pricing push for all the ships. It's one of the reasons you see some of the prices shift during this sales, because we've had to go back and look at a whole bunch of things getting ready for that transition.
Yeah, and we also saw that the ships are going to be a lot more expensive with UEC than they are with dollars.
Yes, tracking from anywhere from 4 times as expensive to 10 times as expensive right now, which is crazy, with it going up as the ships get bigger.
Will there ever be an adjustment of dollars to UEC, or is it just set where it is? $5 for, what is it, 5,000? So $1 per 1,000?
It's $1 per 1,000 right now. No, I could see that adjusting someday. It'll be a big task if necessary, just because we've sold so much UEC. And one of the, not to go too deep into the woods on money and pricing, one of the issues you inevitably have is that, okay, it makes sense that I'm going to spend $5 for, a piece of flair. Hey, in this world, it makes sense that, whatever would cost $5, Chris Roberts bobblehead or a plastical spaceship you put on your space desk. Um, it does not make sense that I would buy an entire spaceship that I can fly around the universe and do anything with for $40 for the equivalent of 8 bobbleheads. So we're always looking at that divide, and same thing for like FPS weapons. If you wanted to go to like a weapons store in the universe, it would make sense for you to buy, for like 500 credits, a handgun or something. But that means that a mission you fly, you want to fly missions to, a Ford, an Aurora, or a Constellation, or something larger. You could also then take that money and say, I'm just going to buy 50,000 guns. So we have this kind of interesting balance we need to work out there. And that is in progress by smarter people than me. So.
Yeah, you have one person that was hired for economy, but it's actually a whole team. Well, when I mean a team, it's more than one person now.
It's a whole team.
Yeah.
Top Happy and his guys are doing yeoman's work with that.
Okay. I know that David Ladyman was working on that too, but I hope to God he's just working on his game so I can have it before Christmas.
It's not going to be for Christmas. I was just talking to him. There's been a production delay.
Imagine that.
Happens to everybody apparently, but no, because they just showed their prototype, and I was like, I remember that. It was so much fun. I backed that. I can't wait for my copy. And then
so. I just started playing board games again too, and I'm like, I'll be able to play Star Traders soon. Okay, let's get back onto the point.
We just started board game night here at CIG LA. Fun.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna have to fly out there and play one day. This is from. And I've forgotten to ask Durin his questions the last couple of weeks, so we're going to ask 2 from him, and then I'm going to go to my last one, and we can close out. This is only partly an AI question, but more about owning lots of ships. By the way, Ben, thank you so much for answering so many questions on Twitter about the sale this week. And then he goes into his question. Some backers I talked to have accumulated large fleets, think they can create large corporations of NPCs to run ships for them. I believe that isn't the case, and NPCs can only operate as crew of your ship. Will fleet owners be able to put more than one ship to use at a time without working with real players? Is the most independent use of NPCs going to be as escort fighter pilot on one of your fighters to your cargo vessels? It sounds like you might be able to answer this question, but it seems like I'm probably going to have to put this to Chris.
This is a Chris or a Tony.
Or Tony.
I will say that, as with anything, the goal is to expand it as we go. So certainly the first thing you'll see is NPCs acting as crew and wingmen. Beyond that, there's all sorts of things we'd like to do. But
Chris has talked about this, though.
Yeah. As for when we do it, that'll leave it to him.
Yeah, and if I remember the way the question was answered, NPCs can follow you on other ships, but they couldn't do their own missions. And then later on, he said they could do their own missions. So I have a call out to Tony, and after the holidays, I'm going to get Tony on the show. We could ask him some questions like this, if he ever finds the time to do it with me. Man, that man is busy. I mean,
he is.
He's really busy.
Yeah, I kind of see it probably as similar to Procedural Planets, something we really, really want to do. Procedural Planets, property ownership, all that stuff. It's stuff we really, really want to do. Stuff I'm confident we will do someday, but it's stuff that's not on the immediate roadmap.
Okay. So the question I have has to do with Hangar. Last year, the year before, a lot of our questions had to do with the Hangar. We were given opportunities to choose rooms that we want to add to it. We were giving all this Hangar flair. And then the Hangars went through an upgrade, and the website went through an upgrade, and how we actually interact with our ships changed. Currently, Hangars are a place to house a few ships at a time, and the items that we were really excited about before have fallen to the back burner because of things like Star Marine 3.0, 2.6, and other pieces of the game coming out. will we see changes to the hangar this year that allow us to add rooms to it, personalize them, and give us some of the items that were promised to us in the beginning?
Easy answer. No,
yeah.
Easy answer. No, we're not going to revamp the hangars this year. We've got 6 weeks to get to 6.
No, next year.
Other stuff. Oh, next year. I suspect it will be different by the end of next year, but I can't promise. Yes, we will be going back to everything we promised for hangar stuff, but I don't have a timeline for it.
I don't know how it changes the game, but that was supposed to be our Commander Shepard area where we had our place to put all the stuff that was collected by our exploits, and I'm trying to put it into different words, but our exploits. So
that aspect will probably be coming quite a bit sooner. The bigger deal with the hangars is right now they're sort of a disparate piece. We built them first, and even though they've been overhauled a couple times, and they've started, they look better, the newer ships go in them and so on, they're not plugged directly into the Crusader, the larger universe. So one of the things that we will have to do in the coming year is integrate those two, which will mean getting rid of a lot of the older, clunkier hangar stuff, and that'll probably be the opportunity where we start making them into their final form.
So us getting into our ship and leaving the hangar is something that we might see next year.
Well, I never want to say dates, but I sure hope so.
You hope so. I'll go with I hope so because I hope so also, and I know that there's already a boatload of stuff on the calendar for next year. So, Ben, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Yeah.
It's good to talk to you again.
I hope. Yeah, it's very good to talk to you. Missed you last week, but I really, I made it sound like it was you that was like letting me down, but with all my classes and everything, it was the right thing to do, to just study for those tests and do that paper and get ready, because it's important. We even canceled Lightspeed Lunatics last week, but there will be one tonight, and I did find time to go to a Bar Citizen last week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we had Bar Citizen here in Atlanta. We had a place called Battle and Brew, and there were quite a number of people. Thank you, Korean Gamer, for putting that together for everyone, and it was really wonderful meeting everyone there, especially Jorge, who evidently got a little bit upset and broke a window. I mean, he backed into a window and it fell down. It was funny. It was funny. And we had Sebi Davis Jr. fly out from Chicago to hang with us, and quite a number of people. So it was
really cool.
And I'll put some pictures up when I do a video later this week to recap the sale and recap the last couple of weeks and to recap Atlanta Bar Citizen. All right, Ben. What are you doing? You meeting any friends, family, hanging with the crew?
Well, I've got an open invite to anybody around here who wants to do our Thanksgiving. We usually just make food for the oddballs who are stuck in LA. LA is one of the cities that empties out in the holidays because everybody came from somewhere else. But Allie and I are throwing Thanksgiving, and my brother will be there. So should be a good time. It's my favorite holiday. I unironically love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I get up early in the morning and I'm all excited. So I'm looking forward to it.
I absolutely love it too. So I'll be thinking about you while I'm sitting there watching it myself.
All right, but don't text me because you'll be 3 hours earlier and it'll spoil the parade.
Oh, you're not getting up to watch it live?
They don't show it live here. They give you a delay. I would get up at like 6 a.m. if I could.
That is so bad. Now, I have been to that parade when, before global climate change, when it was just freezing cold. I think this year it's going to be like 60 degrees during the parade. No, it's going to snow and ice during it. It's one of those two.
You rarely have someone talking about the positive aspects of global climate change.
Yeah, right? Rarely. Yeah, here we are in Georgia. It's freezing cold outside. We haven't had any rain for like 45 days. And half of North Georgia is on fire.
Attention, future alien anthropologists who find this tape among the ruins of humanity.
Yeah.
Please make fun of us.
Yep. We're going to be talking about that later. Is anthropology going to be a job function inside the game? That will be next time on Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. Well, Ben, thanks again. You have a wonderful holiday.
You too, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Americans, I guess. Other people can also have a happy Thanksgiving if you're not celebrating. Happy.
Yeah, You could give
I mean,
thanks.
general happiness.
Yeah. And what's the holiday in Star Citizen? There are none yet, right?
Isn't there like an Imperator's Day? I'd have to ask.
It's something.
I'd have to ask.
I'm sure that comes later when we're actually in the game all the time. All right, let's let this go. We're trying to find a way to get out of the rabbit hole. Okay. And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.